But what I'm saying is, if I try to have a baby after 40,
Yes.
with a woman who's in her 30s,
Yes.
high five. Do you think that there's a risk for the baby? So what about like even like waiting too long for fertility? That's no good either, right? Waiting too like not ejaculating for 2 months, 3 months.
What if you're like?
Is that bad? Is that bad?
Is that bad?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, from a fertility, from a healthy baby point of view, I don't think so.
Yeah.
We think of it in a slightly different way, that sperm quality decreases maybe after 35.
Wow.
For women, it's a little bit more defined because of the way the ovaries function. Certainly, after 35 is a good time frame where their egg quality goes down. And for both men and women after 40, the genetic risk of genetic complications for fertility increase.
Interesting note about.
Wait. I want to know about this. So genetic for after 40.
Yes.
So if you conceive babies after 40 as a man, there's a biological clock too where it's dangerous for the baby?
Well, you see, our biological clock is not exactly the same as
Right.
women, because we have the capacity to build new sperm even way past 40.
Right.
We have an infinite amount of sperm. Women are born
Right.
with their total number of eggs.
Right.
That's it.
But what I'm saying is, if I try to have a baby after 40,
Yes.
with a woman who's in her 30s,
Yes.
high five. Do you think that there's a risk for the baby? Is there a risk for the baby? Like you know how they have risks when the woman's older?
Not in your case, Sam,
Yeah.
but for the average guy, the risk actually increases. It's marginal. Like
It's more
if
the
you
woman, no?
It's yes.
Sorry?
So it's more on the women's side where the risk is increasing,
Right.
because, like Dr. Steinberg said, whatever they're born with, that's all they have. And over that time frame, you can imagine it's exposed to medications, radiation, all kinds of things. Whereas we have the ability
Our
to
sperm
regenerate.
is the life of a sperm is, I think it's 70 days or 72 days.
Right.
So if you have actually a fever or something, a bad cold, your sperm can be decreased or abnormal for that period. Not abnormal in the sense you're going to have abnormal babies, but you can be subfertile.
Right.
And then it'll bounce back to great sperm. So
But no
we
risk for the
produce
child,
no,
for the potential
no,
child,
no, no.
for a
No,
man
No.
to.
I mean, we think, we know couples are having babies later and later.
Right.
We have all kinds of technology to produce that, and the vast majority of them have super healthy babies. But you probably don't want to wait too long past 35. And
As a man?
As a man and a woman.
Wow.
And even as a man and beyond 42, the genetic risks are increasing.
But,
What?
but,
Even
there's
for
all
even for male.
Even for males,
I always
yeah.
thought men, like, you see them at a client mine 48, 52. They
We
just had
can.
kids.
We're lucky like that. But if you look at the curves, the genetic risks are increasing, not, like Dr. Steinberg said, not as fast as for women.
But does that have anything to do with our health?
So
Like how healthy we are?
Or is
that
it because men who are older than 40 are also with women who are older than,
yes, it could be that. It's hard to study that
Yeah.
because there's so many factors that probably impact sperm quality. And like we said, there's always your diet, exercise, stress, what kind of illnesses have you had over your lifetime? Of course, that starts increasing.
But for women over, I think it's over 40. I mean,
That's right.
I don't follow the women in this fertility range, but they're special. When they reach a certain age, they do special genetic. There's a screening that they can do to see if you're at risk of genetic abnormalities. In which case, you can opt to actually remove cells and study the cells
wow.
And
And,
that's-
men don't have that? Men don't have to do that?
So our
No, it's done in the pregnant woman.
Oh, it's
in
not
the pregnant
in the
woman,
pregnant
yes.
woman.
Yes.
And then they could see even.
Yes.
So that's how we can safely have babies later and later, because like Dr. Steinberg was saying, we have the ability through blood testing, through amniocentesis, through the uterus to take some fluid that surrounds the baby and see, well, there looks like there's a risk of Down syndrome here,
Oh, wow.
or another kind of genetic illness. So then they have a tough decision to make.
My son was born with club feet. And
Okay.
they saw it when he was in my wife's stomach. They saw
Right.
that his foot was inside,
Right.
was crooked, and they were worried. Maybe there's something wrong.
Right.
They weren't sure, and then they did a genetic on me because I was born with club feet as well. So
Interesting.
Oh wow.
So then they were like, okay, chances are it's that, and we just went with it.
So
Right.
so if a man is
Wow.
like, let's say 43,
Yes.
and a woman is like 31,
Yes.
there's still a risk that the child will be born with abnormalities because the man's a little bit older.
Very small, but having the younger wife certainly puts all the odds in your favor. Because when we're thinking of the
Good job.
when we're thinking of the genetic risk, it's much more on the woman's side than on
Right.
our side.
I have a
Much
question.
more.
Biologically, do you think that the fact that women and men are having kids later and later is a good thing, or it's not
Wow.
biologically made to be that way?
Wow, what a great tough question. Because of our society
Yeah.
and the role of women, and more of them are starting to have families later and later. Is it a good thing? That's a tough thing.
Because I see it,
You
and
see?
to me, it doesn't. Our moms gave birth when they were young, and
Yes.
yes, they were young, and maybe they didn't really fully know what they were getting into.
Yes.
But I feel it was more biologically. That's the time it was made.
Yes.
And
We're gonna get so much hate now.
Nick,
no, but it's
I'm
true.
gonna get
You know what I
emails
mean?
for
I
nothing. I didn't
look-
even say anything.
I look at women, they're 36, 38, they're
Yeah.
telling me I want to have a kid, and I train them, and I'm like, and I kind of know that, yes, you're healthy, you eat well, let's exercise, let's get you in best shape for you to have your
No,
kid.
but everything is shifted over. When they're 50, they're a 50-year-old now as a 15-year-old kid is much younger than a
Mm.
50-year-old, 30 years ago.
Yes.
40,
So
50 years
true.
ago.
yes.
You know.
And
So true.
that's a great point. And Nick, I think it's a great question and a really tough one. I could give you the medical answer. So if you look purely biological, we know more from women than men. The optimal time to have a baby is around 17. Now you could see clearly there's problems with that,
Yeah.
right? Social, emotional, political. So then what's the best time between then and 40 naturally, or we push it through reproductive technologies? It's a really tough question, but
Medically, 17.
from the purely female point of view,
Wow.
the uterus and gynecologic system is optimal for baby production, not maybe psychologically or
Yeah.
socially, but yeah.
And
Yeah,
what
yeah.
about men?
We have no, but it's, we have to remember that we were made to go through puberty, make us ready to have babies, plant our seeds in
Yes.
as many women as possible, and die.
Yes.
I mean that's
The good old days.
The good old days. Yeah.
What happened?
That's evolutionary.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean
true.
that's
I mean-
what we were meant for.
What another excellent point, like to Dr. Steinberg's point, see, our genes have not changed from the time of caveman. 3,000
No.
years exactly the
They
same.
haven't mutated over.
No,
society's changed faster than our evolution.
Wow.
And
Our bodies,
so caveman lasted, his average lifespan was 35 years. So like Dr. Steinberg was saying,
Wow.
everything is optimized for about 35
So
years.
true.
You reproduce, you die.
It's like an athlete. You think athletes, your athletic life is
Yes.
over at 35.
Yeah.
Like if people start calling 35-year-old athletes like ancient, like Roger Federer right now is an exception to the rule. He's an elite athlete at like 38, 39. You don't see that anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the ages you're supposed to kind of
And
die at. Yeah.
and through our understanding of longevity and modern science and medicine from the time of caveman, we've pushed that natural lifespan 50 years to about 82, 84.
They
Wow.
never
So
had prostate cancer
There
and
you
heart
go.
disease
There you go.
and any of that stuff.
Wow.
That's why
So
we're not built for
There's
that.
a whole topic that we've never spoken
Oh
about. We're
my
trying
God.
to live as long as we could healthy.
Yes,
But yet
but
we
our
were
genes,
not made for
no,
that.
our genes
This is the
haven't
first time I
changed.
hear this because
Yeah.
We're fighting nature.
yeah.
But
That's-
we're doing well because
Yes.
people are living till
50.
100 some places.
Yeah.
But it's true, people are living.
In Icaria, they're doing it, and we're
Yes.
talking about it with doctor. And I'm going to visit Icaria, and I can't
Oh my
wait to eat
God.
these. The guy's 100 years old. I saw an interview. He's smoking, he's drinking,
Yes.
and he's like, I don't need Viagra. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And he's 102 or whatever it is. And what's their secret?
And we were saying that's one of the 5 blue zones in the world where people are living into their hundreds in great health. And we've narrowed it down to the 6 pillars of health. So diet and exercise, we know, stress management, sleep, social life, and some medications.
Wow.
And like you were saying, those people in Icaria in Greece, they figured out how to get that optimal balance. And you can live into your 90s in great health. Most of us here in modern society, like maybe we weren't built to last this long, but we take about 15 to 20 years off our life. That's modern living.
Yeah, because I think a lot of, I saw a documentary about Icaria, is, you know, a lot of what they live off is right on the land. Like they don't bring in, they don't let like foreign products come in too much. They live off of whatever's growing there, whatever's around, and they actually walk a lot, and you know they have like a very active family life.
Community,
as well.
low stress,
low stress,
right?
Because we weren't meant to like live at this rhythm either. You know? Like,
it's so true.
Yeah, like road
stress
rage was the caveman wasn't supposed to have road rage. Yeah.
It was-
He was a stick chasing somebody down.
He was just running, hoping not to be killed by a saber-toothed tiger.
That's it.
So yeah, that's interesting, and I guess that ties into everything we've already been talking about. You know? I did my research, and 3 out of 4 men on this panel are losing their hair. I don't want to mention any names, but one of us isn't.